Round number 4. This is where we separate the undefeateds from the defeateds. I don't want to attack anybody's manliness.
Okay, well, that's where you and I differ.
All right.
I'm coming after your manhoods.
So we've seen Dan Perkins play this pretty standard Golgari mid-range list.
Yes, we have seen that.
Luke is not on Surveil anymore. He used to be the Surveil guy.
Now he's the Grixis guy.
Now he's playing Grixis.
The old Grixis boy.
The old Grixis. 3 colors of power and glory.
Cutting him up. Here we go.
Cutting them up. Let's see. It's for all the marbles.
Show me your moves.
Show me your moves. What's that from? Is that DDR?
No, it's Smash.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I don't play with the sound on.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're normally playing your dancing game.
It's from, like, every Smash ever, though. It's Captain Falcon's taunt.
Oh, my bad.
Show me your moves.
Didn't play a lot of Captain Falcon. More of a Samus guy myself.
Explains a lot. All right, so we've got a... Oh, wow. We're opting for the turn 2 Llanowar Elf
I'll see. I would...
Branchwalker play instead of the turn 2 Jade Light Ranger.
So I don't hate this play, as Luke is much more likely to have a two mana like removal spell
Yeah.
versus like a 2 or 3 mana sweeper.
Yeah.
So being wide here isn't like the worst thing ever. But Dan does need to draw some gas.
Draw some gas. I don't think it's like going into a boxing match blindfolded. I don't know of any games where the sound is boring. That's unrealistic. 5 damage for Dan. Luke's going to need to put up some defense here.
So I don't play with sound because I like to at least like be around other people, and I don't want to be that guy.
Oh, I want to be that guy. I don't want to interact with anybody.
I know.
Just lock me in a room, in a hyperbaric chamber, and let me go to town.
Let you play your Vidya games, huh? It's fine with me.
Sending everybody.
So Jack, I'm sorry, I'll stop playing silently. I'll turn the sound on.
Takes 3 still.
See, here
we drew a fine finality.
I would find both my explore guys
So
and cast
get
one of
back our only 2 creatures in our graveyard with this card that gets back 2 creatures in the graveyard. And then cast the only one that we can cast.
So the other option was that you could slow roll the Find Finality and use the Memorial to Folly to get back just the Jade Light that you couldn't cast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's where I want to be.
So, Jack, if you were the only one in the room watching the movie, you would.
So here's a big old Nicol Bolas. We're going to discard, I assume, a swamp. Unless we've got some sick tech here. Discard the swamp. Discard the swamp. Discard the swamp. What are we thinking about here? Like, what do we need the 5 mana for? All right, we need 5 mana. We need 8 mana, apparently. We've got these.
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, he's thinking about bringing it back with him more. You can just do that if you cast it.
And he put another one in the graveyard.
I'm fine with exploring one to the graveyard.
Interesting.
If you're digging for an answer to this Nicol Bolas.
All right, here's Ral.
Yeah, I do not get... We could have played 2 Jade Light Rangers this turn.
And it's a very different position than
Yeah.
this untapped mana we have. All right, we're looking at Expansion Explosion and what's that blue card? Oh,
Sinister Sabotage.
Sinister Sabotage.
Would have kept the Expansion Explosion.
Well, there's a lot of different avenues that this game may have taken.
Yeah, but here we are at this one. So you could play the Wild Growth Walker and still have enough mana to
All right, here's the big attack.
pop the Memorial.
All right. Take 5 to 7. Oh, he's attacking Ral. Take 5 to 1.
All right, fingers crossed that this thing lives.
We'll see.
We will see. Tick up Ral, don't want to forget that.
I think he's looking at 2 lands. I would just pick the one that comes into play untapped.
Yes, a guaranteed 4/3 plus another 4/3 is a good answer to Bolas. I would agree. But if he wanted 2 4/3s, he would have kept the Jade Light Ranger in hand, not bend it. He really wants a Carnage Tyrant right now.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Did he not have the mana to Memorial at the end of his last turn?
Pretty sure he did. He just didn't want to do it. Because it's 3. Oh, he just forgot. Okay.
All right.
Well, here we are.
Here we are in the actually phase.
Jade Light Ranger in.
So this is going to make the Wild Growth Walker big if it resolves, but it's not going to. Oh.
Richard,
Here's Dream Eater. I believe you can get me through the night.
Here's a Dream Eater. It's a hairy boy.
This guy is pretty good. The Sphinx of all your nightmares.
It's good. So you remember a time...
In a time.
Yeah. When you would have like 1 or 2 Chase Mythics and all the other ones were just like...
Meh.
ridiculous. Like, okay, well, that's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
I like where this Dream Eater's at. It's clearly not in the same space as Doom Whisperer or Niv Mizzet.
Yeah.
But it's still very powerful.
Yes, I agree. I think maybe, I don't know if it's these Grixis decks that need to come together a little tighter or the Esper decks that need to come together, but this guy could be a big finisher.
No, I don't think so. I think he's doomed to just being the worst of the 3 major flyers.
Yeah.
But he's still okay.
Sure.
He ain't bad. So the reason to play him over Doom Whisperer is if you're running like a lot of instant speed interaction. And I just don't think that's good right now.
Sure.
All of the biggest threats that you could counter, you can't counter.
Right.
So
Your Banefires and your Carnage Tyrants.
your Niv Mizzets.
Oh, can that not be countered either?
Oh, absolutely not.
Why would it ever want to be countered?
Why would you want to counter a Niv Mizzet? It's just a cool dragon, bro.
Is a cool dragon, bro. Our spotter once countered Niv Mizzet to trigger the Surveil on the counterspell.
Oh, we're attacking with Nicol Bolas just to flip it this turn, it looks like.
Yep. He's put his Nicol Bolas down, flip it, and reverse it. There we go. There's a big boy. So
Give that big boy some loyalty counters. There you go.
there you go. So Niv Mizzet's going to go up, I assume.
Nicol
Or Nicol
Bolas.
Bolas, sorry.
Yeah, I assume we don't want to deal 10 to anything right now, but drawing 2 cards is...
It's pretty nice. And it goes to 9, so
he could get his Ralph Zarek back.
on board he can't kill the Nicol Bolas. So 9
I like going down to 3 here.
yeah. Get Ralph Zarek back.
Get Ralph Zarek back, kill a Wild Growth Walker. Then you have 2 Planeswalkers. You can protect the Nicol Bolas. And you just get to eat a Llanowar if he goes after the Ralph Zarek.
Sure.
Feels good. Oh, this was a good draw here. Man down.
There's that. Here's this guy going to pump up the Wild Growth Walker.
Ooh.
Leave that right where it is, my friend.
That's a juicy find. All right, so now how much damage do we get to send at Luke instead of Nicol Bolas because we have that on top? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7?
Yeah, send 7 at Luke, puts him at 5.
Yeah, and then he's got to... So if you put Luke to 5, it puts the onus on him to, like, do something to try and clean up the game state.
And then you basically get a free Vraska's Contempt because he can't afford to spend any resources dealing with that because you've got this wide board. Yeah, that was a poor decision to send it at
Here's a Nicol Bolas.
Nicol Bolas.
Nicol Bolas, the man.
The Dragon Man.
He was a man. He lived. Nicol Bolas plussing. Draw a couple cards. Would have started there. Just a note. I always do this, and I try and learn my lesson every time, so I'm going to point it out. If I'm going to be drawing any cards in the turn, I always start there, because that decision can change your other decisions, the new cards. And so I did this in Commander last night, and I was like, oh, man, I should have done it this way.
G-Dog Buzz.
Dog Buzz.
All right, let's send everything at Luke. Should have done last turn. I guess we're committed to killing the Nicol Bolas this way.
Yeah.
So we got to send everything there instead. Oh, don't do it now.
Gets Big Daddy Nicol Bolas, the man. Here's Sinister Sabotage. So let's see. If we attack Luke, what gets blocked?
Luke with everything. He blocks 3. You get 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 in.
Yeah, so the nice thing you get to realize here is that even though this Golgari deck doesn't apply like a boatload of pressure, all of these creatures are insignificant.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that any one of them lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want some of them to live. Obviously, you want to make good trades. You don't want to throw them away. But here, one's going to get blocked and die, and that's fine.
What are we doing? Why are we?
All right, Nicol Bolas down.
Free damage.
So the thing John is lamenting here is if he attacks with the rest of the team, that also doesn't matter if they die. You just get free damage. You're not blocking the flyer.
Right. He should have taken the free damage last turn, and then Luke's just dead this turn.
Right. So think about it over the course of a couple turns. Plan your world out. Attack first if you're gonna neg the board.
Dan's in for a golden experience here, I think. We're going to attack first. We don't quite have the blessing of the whole city.
Right. So this is what happens when you miss those golden opportunities. Did you like that one?
It was a great one.
Thanks.
And now
it is Nicol Bolas versus Wildgrowth Walker.
Yeah, and I think we all know who wins that one.
Do we?
This is what happens, Larry.
This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
Attack for 2. Pass the turn.
All
He's
right.
got a forest in hand.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Perkins, you let this one get away from you, I feel.
It happens, man. It happens to the best of us. I've definitely kicked the can down the road quite a few times. All right, so Luke should, Luke should flip, bring back another Planeswalker, and that'll really solidify his board position here.
Yeah, that'll put Nicol Bolas down to 3. So Nicol Bolas is dead if Dan Perkins draws exactly an Explorer creature.
Yep.
But that's fine.
Can Rao kill the Wildgrowth Walker?
I think Rao just deals 3. Wildgrowth Walker's at 4.
Only 3. Yep. And so Rao's going to probably plus to...
Oh, no, I guess it can.
I guess it does deal 4. 4 is the operative number in Standard right now. So, like, if you got 5 toughness, you're a badass.
1 badass, please.
Yeah, if your ass is 5, it's pretty bad.
That's true.
So then, so all these good spells deal 4. All right, we've got Chupacabra, which I think you play regardless.
Oh, it's equal to the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought 4 was a weird number there.
It's a Beacon Bolt.
Yeah, just minus the Beacon Bolt. No big deal. But yeah, now we've untapped. We've got all the walkers. This game is basically over. They don't even need to cast anything. Use plus, draw some cards. Plus, draw some cards.
All right. I'd play a land here, and I would cast this Nicol Bolas creature.
Yeah, sure. No reason not to.
And just try and win the game. You know, close it down as fast as possible. There we go. Here's the third Nicol Bolas. Or is that the second one still? Did it get bounced? No.
Nope. This is the third.
Nicol Bolas the third.
All right, we're just getting rid of both of our lands. That's probably a mistake, but whatever. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Discard down to 7. Here's Doom Whisperer.
Here is a Sinister Sabotage.
Yes,
Oh, just let it go.
Vraska's Contempt.
And I'll scoop up there.
Yeah, Dan will call it a day.
All right, so what we learned here.
Yes, the takeaways.
So Planeswalkers are very powerful cards. They can run away with the game if you let them. But it's more important to kill your opponent when the opportunity presents itself, as it had there.
Yeah, I think so. I have long said that Planeswalker is the hardest type of Magic card to play well against, and it is the hardest type of Magic card to play well. And so we saw here where Dan...
It's pretty easy to play well. You just activate one of the abilities every turn, and you're doing it.
So you're right, but how many times have you watched somebody like activate the wrong one and it just cost them? You're like, man, if you activated this other one, you would have been, you know what I mean? So it's a card type that rewards you for thinking long, and therefore it's hard to play it optimally.
Okay.
Yeah, putting one into play and just using it,
Yeah.
sure.
You're doing it.
You're doing it. Congratulations.
Figured it out.
You figured out how to use the card. But to play it the best you possibly can,
So to play it optimally is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not to play it well.
okay, we have a different version of the word well.
Yeah.
All right. And so what Dan did was he did what most people do, or what we've been trained to do by watching, endless numbers of streams, whatever, is that once a Planeswalker comes into play, the game becomes about the Planeswalker. Your opponent casts Teferi, you need to figure out a way to get Teferi off the board, or else you're never going to win the game.
You're right. So
But-
your first... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But what Luke had here was his Planeswalker was too late into business.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to end that game, even though, Luke had this Planeswalker in play.
So the first thing you need to do when a Planeswalker comes down is not like, how can I deal with this Planeswalker? Your first question needs to be, do I care about this Planeswalker?
Sure.
And in this case, Luke had just tapped out to flip his Nicol Bolas. You didn't really care.
Yeah.
And you've also got a Vraska's Contempt on top that you know about at that point. So you're like, okay, I can swing at Luke, get a bunch of damage in, and then even if he has the Ritual of Soot or whatever necessary board wipe to deal with my board position,
Right.
I still have this out to his Planeswalker.
Yep.
Instead, he ran out the Vraska's Contempt early and then swung into the Planeswalker. It was messy.
Sure.
Dan kind of threw it away. So I understand that you're playing around a board wipe, but at that point, you're playing off the top of your deck. They've got like 80 cards in hand. If they got it, they got it.
Right.
Approximately 80 cards.
So Jack disagrees with me, unsurprisingly.
Unsurprisingly.
And that's okay. I think these guys are taking this one pretty easy, doing a lot of shuffling, really giving us the full show.
Yeah, as long as we're not pile shuffling, I'm cool with whatever they want to do out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the second I see a pile, I'm going to go out there and start slapping some people in the face. Watch out, Dan Perkins.
Slaps?
I'm coming for you.
Whoa. Slaps for piles, slaps for days, huh?
It's the second pile shuffle, obviously. I'm not going to slap anybody for doing the first one, although I do disagree with it.
Noted.
Noted. Notable pile shuffler hater.
Notable pile shuffle watchman,
Yeah.
John Douglas. I hope everybody in the world has a friend like Jack Grannon. Just saying. All right, Dan Perkins has a heater here. He's got
You mean a bird?
a bird. Well, some friends are birds. You ever met
Some-
Big Bird?
Some friends are birds. I've
He-
met Jack.
He lives on Sesame Street. Into Jade Light Ranger.
If we want it, and I think we don't have another play this turn. Oh, wait, we do.
Oh, we're gonna Wild Growth Walker and second Llanowar Elf.
Yeah, so
This is fine, probably.
that's okay. We want to grow that Wild Growth Walker to the point where can't be stopped. Listen, the owl from Sword in the Stone is not a friend. That thing is a jerk.
All right, so Luke is looking at a thought erasure. And he sees Carnage Tyrant, which he cannot deal with at all, almost. Jadelight Ranger, Jadelight Ranger. So I'm a fan of taking Carnage Tyrant here, but he took a Jadelight Ranger. So the Jadelight Rangers are manageable because you have Ritual of Soot.
He also has in hand a Golden Demise.
Yeah, so if this Jadelight Ranger doesn't get any bigger. All right, that guy takes down a flyer, and he's going to the bin, I guess.
Yeah.
Jadelight Ranger gets a counter.
So
Wild Growth Walker gets 2 counters.
Yeah, Wild Growth Walker getting 2 counters there is big. I don't know why he didn't pay the mana or pay the life to untap this Overgrown Tomb. Like, 2 of your life is easily worth 1 of Luke's.
So what can he do with the other land? Oh, because that makes the elf attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jadelight only has 1 counter on it. All right.
All right, so we're down to just the Wild Growth Walker, but we've got this
Carnage Tyrant awaiting.
One day.
Wild Growth Walker dealing 3 is no small affair either.
Yeah, it's a clock.
All right, here's Memorial.
That'll be an interesting decision next turn.
Yeah, I think the only thing to do is to not...
Oh, here comes a Nicol Bolas. All right, so I guess we have to pitch this land. We could pitch the Carnage Tyrant and try to get it back, but we have to sacrifice land to do that.
So it puts us in the same position.
Which is not where we want to be.
Oh, nice. So here's another Explorer. And so regardless of what this guy hits... All right, so he hits a land, but the Wild Growth Walker gets a counter.
He gains some life.
And that makes him 4 power to attack through Nicol Bolas.
Keeping the pressure on.
Pressure
That's
up.
Important.
Keep in there.
And then Dan's just a land away from this Carnage Tyrant. Luke's got to be in deal with it now mode.
Yeah.
He's got a search in hand.
He's got
An Eldest Reborn, which doesn't really help him.
right.
We got to find a way to deal with all these other creatures first.
Search for his Cantha. And a pass.
It's not a land, but that is good here.
Yep, find Finality to get back these Jade Lights is a nice one.
Plus, those Jade Lights also dig you closer to lands.
Right. So, Wild Growth Walker has to attack in again.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, it is. Dan's on a good plan here. Looks like he's a little frustrated, but
Listen, if you're getting him to commit his mana every turn and you're still attacking for 4, you're in great shape.
concur.
Him tapping his Memorial to Folly doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
He still wouldn't have enough to use it.
Right, so Memorial to Folly requires 3 other lands and tap it, so it costs 4 total. If you count, Memorial as an out.
Okay, so here's a Ritual of Soot.
And so that card was really important. The reason this card matters is because now Dan, if he gets his land and he windmills this Carnage Tyrant into play, like he's about to, it's just going to get
Eldest Reborn.
Eldest Reborn. And Luke's going to stabilize. Here it is. Luke decides to draw it and attack for 4. Here's the Eldest Reborn. Sacrifice the Carnage Tyrant, please, and thank you. Now let's see if Dan has the savvy play of letting the Eldest Reborn target the Carnage Tyrant and then Memorial Defiling it back.
Okay, we drew a Duress. I think we could just Memorial Defile it next turn and hope to draw land.
I would just cast the Duress.
Yeah, well, you can do both. Oh, it's just this Dream Eater. That's okay.
All right.
Don't do it now. Don't do it now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, you're going to get punished.
Let him get punished, Luke. He'll learn. All right.
Luke reminding his opponent, hey, are you sure you want to concede the game?
This trigger is going to be on the stack my next main phase.
Swinging for 4, not a big deal, still have plenty of life. Flipping this.
Yep.
Oh, Luke's going down to 3 to do it.
Oh, and he's gonna target the Carnage Tyrant.
And we're just not gonna Memorial Defile in response, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty good. No? What happened? We're talking about something out at the table. All right. So Luke flips Nicol Bolas, and he's making a decision on what to do with it. It's tough. This one has 4 modes.
This one does have 4 modes.
That makes it, 25% harder to play optimally?
33%, because only 3 of the modes matter.
Right. All right. So here's Dan.
Figured it out.
Here's Dan hoping for a Lando.
Land off the top would be nice for Dan. Although he still doesn't get free attacks. He needs a little help off the top still. Okay.
Wildgrowth Walker it is. I think Luke's going to be more than happy to have a Jadelight Ranger.
Yeah, Jadelight Ranger's sick here. Yes, he does only have 2 choices. And one of them is just removing counters from Nicol Bolas for Yucks, and that's the mode he chose. So,
Yep. All right, that goes to your hand. And that goes to the bin.
well, I can get rid of a Carnage Tyrant.
I guess he can plus Nicol Bolas and use it to get rid of the Carnage Tyrant. Yes.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Draw 2. Deal with the Carnage Tyrant. Play a land for turn.
Pass.
If we play a land for turn, we get a Dream Eater at the end of turn as well.
Yeah. So when do you switch gears from just like, all right, I'm going to sit back on all this untapped land and all these potential spells in my hand, to I'm going to try and end the game as quickly as possible?
So Dream Eater ends the game just as fast as Nicol Bolas does.
Yes.
Faster, in fact, because you get a bounces Wild Growth Walker.
Sure. Pretty sure Thought Erasure costs a black, but sipping tea back here, you know. There we go. Well, that guy just came in, so but it's the second time we've seen that one on stream tonight.
Oh my god!
Here's the rule about haste, guys.
If you ain't got it, you ain't swinging.
If it's the first time this creature's been on your side, you can't attack with it.
It just came in from the graveyard. You didn't even steal it. Like, that's the weird one. Whatever, we're just gonna let it ride.
All right, so he has a fine finality, so I would get Carnage Tyrant, Jade Light Ranger, play the Jade Light Ranger, gain a bunch of life. Wild Growth Walker becomes a 3/3 or 3 power,
Yeah.
5 toughness, and wins you the game. I hope. Okay.
Still had all these dreams to eat. Jack, you clearly don't need mentoring on being a jerk.
Bouncing the Wild Growth Walker.
We still get some explore triggers.
Still get to explore. There's a Doom Whisperer. Just leave it on top. That's an option.
Old Doomy boy.
It's an option. Just leave it there.
We're thinking about it. Leaving it on top. All right, perfect. 2 counters for the Jade Light Ranger. I think Luke can end this. Can't end it, but he can do a pretty good impersonation of it. So we get to kill the Jade Light Ranger, swing in for 7,
Yep.
put Dan down to 5, play the Nicol Bolas. We know what his top card is. He can't play multiple cards on his turn, so he's just dead.
Yep.
So
Come
that
on,
should just
Luke.
about seal the deal.
Oh, we're gonna flip Ascanta just for
That's fine.
posterity.
Listen, you wanna cross your T's and dot your I's here.
Dot your Ascantas.
Ha! Oh, we're playing this instead. All right. Well, whatever. We did it. It's out there. Think we owe
Nicol
one more
Bolas, the
mana on
man.
that? We definitely owe 1 more mana.
Wow, we were doing things all out of order.
Yeah, whatever. Send everybody.
Yep. Kills the Jade Light.
Oh, we're just getting that back. Okay.
Okay.
Still dead next turn, I guess. Okay, so Dan's going to play this Doom Whisperer and pass. Does Luke just turn everything sideways because he's dead on board? Or does he Vraska's Contempt first? I guess he's not dead on board because he didn't minus the nickel balls there. So that's 4, 8.
No, he's dead on board.
All right. So we've.
Do you think Luke cast the spell?
I guarantee he cast the spell. That thing's burning a hole in his hand. Guarantee it. Oh, we're drawing cards too?
Even better.
We're drawing cards
Even better.
too?
All the activations. Really dragging this out.
Oh, I think we're just killing it with Nicol Bolas.
Was he going to kill it with Nicol Bolas? And then Vraska's can tempt his own Nicol Bolas? What?
So we're killing it 6 ways to Sunday.
All right, guys, that's how it rolls here on Wednesday Night Standard. I thought we had some interesting ones for you this week. I hope to see you back next week.
Interesting. Remember, we got a giveaway going out.
Do we?
Yeah. Show up at SCG Columbus, and Taylor will give you a steak.
I never said that.
You agreed to it.
I said there will be a giveaway
of a steak to somebody.
I never said it was of a steak.
Taylor's going to give you a steak. So show up at Columbus, get a steak. It's just free food, free steak. We'll see you there. But we'll also see you next week.
Goodbye. They make like bundles of like shims. They're like wedge shaped. I'm just gonna hand them out. The steaks. Yeah.
You can buy some like.
I mean, I could get a bundle of them for like $5.